Welcome guys, before us we have a question under summary writing. Now this question is coming from paper 2 English for the year 2009. Now before we start our lesson, for those that may be interested in joining my online class, this is my phone number. Right, so now before you start answering or before you start going through the given passage, I advise you first read through the question. So I'm going to read through the question so that we can understand the question. Then from there we'll go back to our given passage, because the question will help us to understand what we really want. And also there are some rules given that you need to follow when dealing with a summary writing. So the question, write a summary of the events leading to Big Benny's marrying the girl of his dreams. So the focus is events that led to this man marrying the girl of his dreams. Then the condition is we are not supposed to use 120 words. The summary has been started for you. Over Big Ben, Muiza quarreled with his beautiful new wife, Towera, and okay, so let's go back to our paragraph now. Since we know what we want, the focus is events that led to Big Benny marrying the girl of his dreams. So what events led to that? Now summaries differ, and from this one we are not going to maybe get the point, but this one we just want to shorten it. That was the focus for this one. Now let's go through passage 1 and paragraph 1. 10 minutes passed. Towera kept standing. 10 minutes passed. Towera kept standing, hoping that Muiza would open the door. Remember, Towera is the wife, then Muiza is the husband. So the husband locked his wife outside. He did not. She decided to put up one more attempt. So to put up simply means to tolerate something bad, or trying to at least continue. She walked to the bedroom window and knocked 2-3 times. There was no response. The fourth knock yielded some noise from inside. Muiza opened the door. What do you want? He wrote. So this question came from Muiza to the wife. Please. Before she finished, Muiza spat into her face. The spit was light, but the impact it had on her heart was stronger and heavier than a slap. So the impact was she felt humiliated. She felt like she's less important. Then this is the response from Muiza. You'll never see me here again, she said, and walked away. So there are some changes that we are going to be making. We're now coming up with our final answer. For example, she said, you'll never see me here again. So we need to come up with how can we shorten a statement like this one. So for a statement like this one, we can shorten it by saying she vowed never to go there again, or she vowed never to see her again. At least we've shortened that. She walked, she said, and walked away. She collected her bags and walked toward the road. Where she was going, she didn't know, but she knew she was running away from her spitting husband. To start with, Towera thought her husband was playing the no-nonsense game every new husband wants to play, but spitting into her face was more than she could bear. So she couldn't handle that. It was too much for her. She wondered where to go from here. So late in the night, hardly a month after the wedding in which the man had invested so much, you can imagine, tears rolled down Toiler's cheeks at the thought. She did not realize where she was when suddenly a car parked by her side. "Taxi," shouted the driver. She entered and sat in the passenger seat. Okay. Where to see? So this question came from the driver. Then she responded, "I don't know," she stated. The driver paused and looked at her closely. He was struck by her beauty. He was used to women who asked for lifts not knowing where they were going. He knew how to treat him, but this one looked different. She seemed to have had a purpose in life which was disturbed in the course. Okay. Toera could correctly read the driver's mind. She had to quickly think of a name or a place to go. She didn't have much money, not even half enough for a taxi. She had to think of someone who could pay for a taxi. "Would you know Mr. Benson, Big Ben?" she asked the driver. At the mention of Benson, the driver's face brightened. "Is there any driver who doesn't know Big Ben in this part of town?" he remarked. "Who are you to him?" asked the driver. "He's my cousin," said Toera. So I'm sure by now we are getting the picture. The events are leading to Mr. Ben marrying the girl of his dream. The driver looked at her with doubt. "Ben is a nice person. We wonder when he's getting married," he said. Toera kept quiet. They crossed this road and that one. Toera didn't know where they were. Suddenly, the car slowed down and hooted. "Big Ben, I have brought your cousin," announced the driver. "Who is there?" asked Ben, sounding sleepy. Okay. "I am Toera. It's a long story," she said, fearing he would reject her there and then. Breathless, Ben opened the door and let them in. He paid the driver drove, then Ben helped Toera carry the luggage into the house. So the word luggage, this word luggage is considered to be a collective noun. So it's a word that you can't add an S to make it plural. So you can't say luggages, no matter how many they are. So the word luggage should just be luggage, regardless of the number of luggage that you have. Toera observed him work like an obedient servant. She was humbled. Just one look around the house swept off Toera's mental fit. The type of seats, musical machine, and the thick carpet. So much types of seats, musical machine, and the thick and the thick carpet, so much wealth. She sat on the comfortable seat. Benson sat directly opposite to her. "So what brings you here?" he asked. As we can see, the story is so long. Not very sure of what she was going to say, she stated, "I am sorry that I have come here to bother you. Firstly, let me thank you for opening the door for me. I wish I could do more," he said. "But now, Mrs. Muiza, what is happening? I hope it's not a trap," he said. So the reason why he said this, because he knew that the woman is a married woman. Then, when we stood at the market, Muiza saw us. She said, "Yes, I thought so." He agreed with her. So what does he say? He has chased me away from his home. Okay. Toya looked down. When she looked up, tears rolled down her cheeks. Benson got moved. He stood up and knelt down by her side. Don't cry. You are here now. Leave everything in my hands. When Toya cooled down, Benson sat back into his chair and relaxed. Then, after a long time, he said, and you choose to come here? Suppose he finds you here. It makes no difference, said Toya. After what appeared a century, Benson said, so what shall I do? He asked that question. I just want to spend the night here in your spare bedroom. Then tomorrow I take you back, asked Benson. He spat into my face. Toya replied, surely, Ben, do I deserve such treatment just because I stood with you? Benson shook his head and said, what I can't understand is why some men throw good luck to the window just like that. Now, Ben, are you going to throw me out too and spit into my face? Pleaded Toya. That would be the last thing I would do, said Ben. Then, standing up, Ben led around the room. Here is the kitchen and eat anything you want. Left alone, Toya opened the fridge. She could not believe it. So if you look at the way this passage was, depends on how many questions about summaries you may have encountered. This one is not like we are going to get the points. For this one, I think we just want to shorten it. The whole passage is talking about the events that happened, which led the Mr. Benny marrying this. So we just want to shorten. There is nothing like getting some points. So let's see how we can come up with that summary. Okay, so we are going to now just connect where it stays over Big Ben, who is quarreled with his beautiful new wife, Toya, and so that's where I'm going to start from. So I'm going to come up with mine. So I'm going to say, and he chased and locked her out of the house. Full stop. So waited, no need of mentioning, we know was waiting. So waited for Muiza to open the door. Full stop. Then we were told the first, second, third, nothing was happened. So our focus will be on the fourth knock. So fourth knock, Muiza opened the window. So open the window, spat into her face. Okay, so full stop. Then for that statement, she said, like, you never see me again. We just say, vowed never to return. So that's how we can reduce it. Vowed never to return. She walked away. Okay, full stop. So after this, we are told about, so we'll say hardly a month, hardly after a month, after a month, their wedding. Excuse me. Then so late in the night. Okay, so she hired. So when you take a taxi, it's hire. We don't call that one as like booking. No, booking is incorrect. You book a room. So she hired, or if you want, we can say she took. If you don't want to use took, we can also she got into a taxi. Into a taxi. Into a taxi, comma, entered, and sat in the passenger's seat. Full stop. Then he asked for Big Benny's. So it can be Big Benny's, or if you want, we can say Benson's place. If we don't want to use place, we can say home. If you want to use home, or if you want, we can say house. So where I'm putting these slash, it means you can use either of the two, but during your finals, don't write them like the way I'm doing. Then we can say after a while she arrived. Then what happened? Benny paid the driver. Paid the driver. What else? Carried the luggage. In, or if you want, we can say into the house. Into the house, or assisted to where? To carry the luggage. So you just have to choose what you can use to carry the luggage into the house. To where? Narrated. So to narrate is to explain, to tell how it was in the form of a story. Narrated, or if you want, we can say explained. Explained that her husband had seen them at the market. Right, then from there, Benny sympathized sympathized with her, and comforted her. Comforted her. Or he told her, don't cry, full stop. Leave everything in my hands. Or we can just say, to me, he welcomed her and showed her the house, led her around the room, eat anything you want. So as we can see, we've tried our level best to summarize the given passage to make it as possible as we can to compare it to the original passage. So this is how we can come up with a narration like this one. So the point is, as we'll be going through different summaries differs in how you write them. So now there are some rules. So the rule number one is make sure you abide by the rules. Like if they are told you to write not more than a given number of words, make sure you satisfy that. Then also do not add your own opinion. Know your own opinions. Then also don't change the meaning from the actual passage. So do not make any alter to that. So these are some of the rules that you are supposed to. And also do not use the exact phrases used in the given passage. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.